Welcome to Day 89 on the Trail. We have 5 readings for today. From Ephesians 4, verse 25 through 5:20, Leviticus 25, verses 1 through 55, the 87th Psalm, Proverbs 23, verses 1 through 35, and Tobit chapter 12, verses 11 through 22. In Leviticus 25, we learn about the sabbatical year and the year of the Jubilee. The sabbatical year, observed every 7 years, provided rest for the land. 7 is a number that represents wholeness and completeness throughout the Bible, from the 7-day week in Genesis 1 to the 7 trumpets in Revelation. For example, Jesus told Peter that he was to forgive someone not just once or twice, but 70 times 7. Jesus was not saying that when your friend uses his finger to poke the bottom of the donuts at the office just to see which are filled with custard for the 491st time, that you can stop speaking to him. Instead, 70 times 7 was a statement of completeness, or in this case, infinity. A similar concept applies to the year of the Jubilee, but greatly magnified. When 7 Sabbath periods have passed, or 7 times 7, equaling 49 years, a Jubilee is celebrated in the 50th year. On this day, liberty is proclaimed. All debts are canceled. Land which was leased or sold is returned, and Israelite slaves are freed. In a sense, the lives of the people were reset. Lands belonging to clans and families were preserved. The poor were refreshed. Now, it is widely accepted by scholars that the instructions regarding the observance of the Jubilee, release, and liberation, as outlined in Leviticus 25, are picked up in Isaiah 61, verses 1 through 2. This passage from Isaiah, along with the reference to Isaiah 58, verse 6, is then read by Jesus in Nazareth in Luke chapter 4. Beginning in verse 16. When he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, he went to the synagogue on the Sabbath day, as was his custom. He stood up to read, and the scroll of the prophet Isaiah was given to him. He unrolled the scroll and found the place where it was written, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim release to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to let the oppressed go free, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor." And he rolled up the scroll, gave it back to the attendant, and sat down. The eyes of all in the synagogue were fixed on him. And then he began to say to them, "Today, this scripture has been fulfilled in your hearing." Jesus does bring the year of Jubilee, but not in the return of lands long held or freedom from indentured servanthood, but true liberty from our spiritual poverty, lasting freedom from our slavery to sin, and instead of the return of lost lands, an invitation to an eternal kingdom. In Ephesians 4, beginning in verse 25, we find a list of instructions for the Christian community. While a number of these instructions deal with our conversation and conduct, our anger and our attitude, I wanted to focus on one instruction that Paul offers here that is often overlooked: our work. Have you ever asked yourself, why do we spend so much of our time working? Well, in reality, there are several answers to that question. And I sincerely hope that one of those answers is that your work brings fulfillment and purpose. I hope that you enjoy your work and are proud to do it well. In Colossians chapter 3, verse 23, Paul writes, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord and not for people." Regardless of our task, big or small, we do our jobs well because our work is a gift from God. We conduct our work as if Jesus himself gave us the assignment. But there's another reason why we work, and it is probably the reason that jumped into the mind of most of us right away. Eating, having a place to live, and clothes to wear are all good things, and having a salary helps with them. But that is only part of the purpose of our earnings. God also sees our salary as an opportunity to be a blessing to others. In Ephesians 4, verse 28, Paul writes, "The thief must no longer steal, but rather let him work hard, doing good with his own hands, so that he might have something to share with the needy." We work so that we can share. The blessing that God provides through work, in turn, provides us an opportunity to be a blessing. Throughout history, generosity has been a trademark for Christians. Their willingness to share the fruits of their labor was something very different from the world around them. While everyone else was holding on tightly to what they had earned or accumulated, Christians shared. Why did they do this? It comes back to grace and faith, two of the foundational themes of this letter. By grace, God came to us, walked the roads of this world to offer his people freedom, liberty, and salvation. And through faith, as his followers, we trust Jesus with tomorrow so we can share generously today. Thank you for joining us today. Until next time, stay on the trail.